It's time for another visit to Neon One Radio, brought to you by Kellogg's. Best to you each morning. With your jovial host, John Christopher and Buster Roper. And John says nothing's changed. Well, I don't know, people. If you look around, there's a lot of stuff that's changed.
Well, actually, no. Those wouldn't have been here last you were here.
Right.
Those were gifts from Joe Domino, the guy that does the
yeah.
Neon Beat Show.
Mm-hmm. Neon Jazz,
Or,
actually.
excuse me, Neon Jazz Show. He gave me a copy of the album of Let's Dance by Steve Allen.
Right.
I've always been a Steve Allen fan. MK Star. For Enchanting.
Oh, yeah.
album.
And Steve Allen, of course.
Hey, don't tell us anything about him.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
A lot of different ones for that name. But
Well, let's have a look and see. Have a look, see here, and see if we can hear.
let's see here. Let's see here.
Okay.
What's the name of that project again? What was the name of that project, John?
Best of Bluegrass Gospel. They're all going to be the same bands.
No, I don't think so. No, here it is. It just says, let's see what this tells me.
Yeah, you got a heck of a CD collection here. I could see why you don't bring it all to the station when you
Oh,
do.
no.
There's no way you could.
Well, these are all instrumentals down here.
Right.
Holiday stuff down here. This is the collections that I've gotten from stations that were cleaning out. There was one station I was working at that did not want the oldies. All they wanted was the country, and apparently TM out of Dallas sent them all this stuff.
Really?
So they asked me if I wanted, and I said sure.
Oh boy, Lovejoy would like to get his hands on that stuff, wouldn't he?
Yep. That's pretty hodgepodge collection stuff. It's 70s, 60s, and 50s.
Right.
You know, right in the era that I
It works
feature
for
on the
Neon
show.
Beat, huh?
Yeah. Well, it works for absolutely.
So what's the I know you get a lot of listener letters. Do any of them have any complaints? I mean, obviously you get a lot of praise. I know that. But does somebody...
Have you ever had any complaints?
Yeah, complaints like, man, why don't you play any Beatles or something? How come I got to play all that Rat Pack crap?
No, I've never heard that.
Really?
No, I've never heard that. What I have heard is a lot of suggestions of cuts. I got one Lee's Summit I have one Lee's Summit gentleman that calls himself Locomotive Breath. Now that would tend to suggest he's a rock and roller because it's
Yeah.
a Jethro Tull reference.
Right.
But he's always calling up for various cuts, and usually his suggestions are right on. He sent me a version of "Jumping at the Woodside" by Benny Goodman. Which was just outstanding. He also sent me a copy of "Rumba Girl" by Nicolette Larson, which I'm going to be adding to the playlist. I had a lot of love, but I'd forgotten about that one.
Well, she only had 2 songs I knew of, and that was "Lot of Love" was one of them, and
Rumba Girl.
and what? No, I don't think that's...
The other one?
Was that the name of the song? I'm the same old girl I used to be, haven't changed at all. You know,
Yeah,
that's not the name of it, though. I'd have to look it
I
up.
have to look it up.
It was one of the more upbeat.
That's generally what I do. If I don't know, as I look it up. It's like I tell my audience sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I read.
So, what are we playing on Neon One right now? Last time I was here, you were playing Elvis Presley's "Suspicious Minds."
Well, let's see.
Chattanooga Choo Choo?
Sounds like Glenn Miller.
All right, Joe Domino, what's this song? You know what it is. Actually, I think Glenn Miller was pretty progressive for his time, you know?
All the jazz artists of that time were an amalgamation of people that loved jazz, and some of them rose to the top, some of them didn't. Interestingly enough, World War II was one of the reasons that the big band era declined. Even though we associate swing music with World War II, a lot of the band members were joining. There was rationing; they couldn't go on the road as much.
Right.
And admittedly, some of the masters were dying off. And the focus in the 1950s started to be on the vocalists and not the bands.
So what is next for the Neon Beat? I mean, you've been doing this show now for at least 9 years, at least on our station.
Yeah. Wow, really?
I
That
think
long? You've put up with me that long, huh?
it was, let me think, 2006 is when you started, I think January of 2006. Because I don't think it was 2005. It might have been 2005.
No, that's about right. It was about the time we moved the radio stations that I worked for over to, well, you know this song,
Oh, yeah, Grandma Sapola's favorite, Rest Her Soul.
Sentimental Journey.
Yeah. Now, is this a vocal version or an instrumental?
Yeah, vocal.
Oh, it is. It's probably going to be
Probably,
Doris Day, right?
This one's going to be Les Brown with the Ames Brothers.
Ah. Les Brown and his Band of Renown, or the
Yeah,
the
what
other?
Bob Hope called them.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, you about ready over there?
Yeah, I got to tell you one more thing for you to start up. Over at Panera Bread, there's a Latino manager there. I forgot his name. And he has no idea who Desi Arnaz is. I mean,
Well-
my gosh.
Well, was he fairly young?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right, here we go.
All right,
Let's.
let's get the monitor where it's supposed to be.
I'm gonna stop this recording and start a new one for the actual what you're doing as soon as Buster's ready.
You have the track listings, but we have the track listings, but we don't have who they are.
No, there's something.
All right, let's stop this video.
Am I on here, John?